Hello everyone, it's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Lunge. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Face is looking a bit dull this morning. You okay?
Serious?
Yeah.
I feel like my face is looking quite bright this morning.
Nice.
I'm fine. I was just a bit carried away before you called my attention. Yes, so I've had a long weekend because I didn't come yesterday, and I love it when I don't come on Monday. It just seems like really long. So what did I do at the weekend? Mostly, I tried to do small gardening, break down some walls, try to put up some walls. You know that I said I'll be just so happy to.
Like Mariam everywhere, Mariam everywhere.
But it will look like Morayo.
Yeah, well,
Morayo garden.
Yeah, well, Morayo garden. I'm not seeing yours. I've only heard about it. I'm seeing pictures.
So it's not like it's a proper garden. You know, it's Lagos now. There's no soil. But it's just that anywhere I can find space, I have put plants all around. That's all.
Cool,
yes.
cool. Nice, nice.
So I'm yet to get to your place. Anyway, so there's this Lagos State climate change summit that's happening today and tomorrow. Of course, I can't be there today because of this. And then tomorrow, I could not get an invite to go there physically.
Oh
I have to go. Yes, I'm so upset. So I'm saying it here on TV that I cannot get to the place physically. I can only join online. I'm upset about it. I feel that.
Where's the venue?
The venue is in Lagos Continental Hotel, Kofo Abayomi VI.
We can get you
yes.
in now.
Yes.
Your view.
I have to say
it's
it, please.
It's about the fact that if someone who's living this journey are the people that should be there, people that are actually doing the work. You might get there now and see
we just need to position her where people know that she's doing the job.
She's doing it.
But we need to put you more.
Okay, please reposition. I'm position and repositioning.
We need to put you where they are
about the
doing
environment. Mariam should be there.
Thank you.
Don't worry, we'll get you. Don't worry, we'll find you. Lagos Continental. Okay. How you doing, Topsy?
I'm very good. So I do this thing, I do my morning routine. I listen to message and music. So I usually do either Joel Osteen, Jumoke Adenowo, Apostle Joshua Selman. But I found this guy. I know I've heard of him before. Tosi B. He's a gospel artist. Man, he has this like 30 minutes to 1 hour music praise jam on YouTube that just lifts your spirit. Like it's so, the energy is positive. If you're someone who wants to you want to praise, you want to dance, you want to change the atmosphere in your room, I exercise with it. I'm walking fast. When I listen to the song, I'm running. I am running. I run 30 minutes non-stop because of the music, you know. And I just wanted to shout out to CB. I know that they don't usually get paid for this. They may be on YouTube. It's free on YouTube, and it's a platform. And you've been a blessing to me in the past few days. I've been enjoying your music.
You don't get paid for YouTube, you sure?
Oh, well, true.
You just made some more money.
Yeah. But you guys, it's awesome.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing amazing.
I love your outfit.
Thank you.
House of BC,
House of BC.
Everything
is House of BC. Yeah. House of BC, hair by BC. So I've just been in a very good place. There's no hurry in my spirit. And this morning I was checking on the group of women that attended the Evolve. And somebody put a testimony there as well, that she's working, she's so full, she's so happy, there's joy from within. She doesn't feel motivated to do anything. She feels like she's just cool. And I'm like, okay, that's a good place to be in. Right now, you're not going to be hurrying anything. However, you need to take inspired action. One of the laws of the universe says the law of action means that everything must keep moving. So if you have goals and aspirations, this is a good time to keep acting, keep being disciplined, keep working. But now that you know that you're not in a hurry, you're not rushing time, you're not competing with anybody, you just see the blessings coming. And that's the place where I am right now. There's no form of hurry. I have to quickly get this or this will happen. I'm in a cool place. If it comes, it comes. I'm not attached to the outcome. And I just feel really good about it.
Blessing.
Why are you smiling?
Like,
so when you are this way, that means you will shout less.
Yes.
Less.
You just got to bring that up.
Nicer.
Yes,
you got to bring that up.
Yeah. You're not serious.
And I was telling my husband that it would be so wrong of me because right now I'm still on that journey, you know, trying to, I mean, I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm still not yet satisfied where I am. So I was saying, I was like, it would be so wrong for me to, like not to be influenced by the ladies that I'm working with every day. You guys are so amazing. You're doing great stuff. Each of you have great testimonies.
You do that for
you know?
each other.
Yeah, so that energy is there. So it'd be wrong for me not to tap into that energy. So I mean, I'm so happy that you guys are flourishing and, you know, fantastic. Well done. Well done.
Thank you for the opportunity. Don't mind that. She's doing things on the ground. She's moving.
Sorry. Let's go on a break, Jerry. The week is just starting. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Northwest, Southwest lead on voter registration. Knocks for federal government ASU over extension of strike. Rumpus over planned conduct of the council polls in Osun. UBN names Alawuba. GMD elevates all the directors. Intrigues as Amechi Akpabio Silvio battle for control of NDDC. Kaduna residents flee as gunmen abduct 50.
Wow.
Explains surge in crime. Minister challenges security agencies. And police beef up security in Oyo, Ondo, and Ekiti. Okay, the major headline?
Yes, I got that. So INEC is saying that as of now, we have a total of 96,303,016 voters registered and to vote for the upcoming elections. And they give us like a breakdown of the regions and the numbers that they have. And the very top is the Northwest. And we know that the Northwest is made up of, you know, states like Sokoto, Kano, Kebbi, Katsina, Zamfara, Kaduna, and Jigawa. And also the very next is the Southwest. They also say that at the very top for the state singular, Kano State is the highest, followed by Lagos. But I don't know if it was a mistake or my math's not working well. They say it's 569,103 for Kano, and then they say 585,629 for Lagos, which is higher. 585, right?
I think
yeah. So I don't know if they mix it up or, yeah,
right.
That's what they say. So
in addition,
even these numbers, you know, I guess would know how people vote.
Yeah.
All the permutations now will come up, but they've talked about the numbers of new voters that have registered, and then let me, I think this is important. They mentioned that there's a fake online site that's come up that's been urging Nigerians to enroll for voter card registration. INEC says that it's fake. It's not affiliated to them at all. Wow. It has been closed since July 31st, and Nigerians should be careful.
So compared to the last election, I think it was 84 million registered. So now we have quite a number of new registered voters. That can swing anyway. So hopefully they now get the cards on time.
I just wish they came out on time to do this registration.
They did now, over a year.
People came out when the online registration started. A lot of young people, new registrants came out. But yes, a lot of people haven't still.
Okay, another story.
So the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has extended its over 5-month-old rollover strike by another 4 weeks. This is another sad story. And they said it's going to be taking effect from 12 a.m. Monday, 1st of August. Now, according to the president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, he announced this in a statement on Monday, and that was after the NEC meeting, National Executive Council meeting of ASU, saying that they need to give the government enough time to meet their demands, since it seems like they are working on snail space. And you know that the committee set up, that's Nimi Briggs Committee, reviewing the salary of the lecturers. They had come up with a recommendation before and submitted to the presidency, but it was rejected, so they had to go back to work on it. Now, parents and other stakeholders are really very upset about this, saying that they're not even going to be trusting, and not trusting just the government now, but also ASU. And ASU is very unpatriotic by deciding to go for another 4 weeks strike. No matter what happens, they can resume school and continue on their negotiations, not insisting that everything must be met before they resume. It means they're not paying attention to the students who are still sitting at home. I don't really know who would get involved in this to get this sorted. It's really painful.
Oh, another story?
Yes, I was going to take the story about the NDDC. I've been following up the story since 2019. There was a corruption case brought against the past managing directors.
Off your mic.
Yes, the managing directors, Mrs. and also Mrs. Ibim Semira and Mr. Nsima Ekeri. They were arrested by the EFCC for being involved in a 47 billion naira scam. And I had to emphasize 47 billion naira scam because what that would have done in the Niger Delta region would be huge. So they've been having since 2019 interim board managing the situation, and people have complained within Niger Delta that they need to put in a substantive managing director. Now the crisis is, the quarrel is between, is Akpabio going to be chairing, being on the board, or would Amechi be the one? Each person is vying for strong hold on the Niger Delta place. If you remember, people are saying that Amechi might be getting that opportunity because he stepped down from being a minister so that he could contest for the presidential, to become a presidential candidate, and they might be compensating him with this based on his relationship with the president, his closeness to Kabal Villa. When I read the story to the end, and I'm wondering at what point are they talking about the people of Niger Delta? The people that are complaining, the health condition of people saying that...
It's a reporter's perspective that you're reading. This is one reporter's perspective. So this is the story. That's
people of Niger Delta, whichever person gets to the place, ensure you monitor what is going on, that they follow through.
Let's move on to the Punch. Planned attacks, police strategize, NSCDC warns as terrorism infiltrates South. Legal tussle may threaten multi-billion-dollar Eco-Atlantic City project.
Wow.
Lagos residents lynched mentally ill, alleged invasion of property. We didn't increase petrol price, marketers did, says federal government. Health workers fault non-payments of new hazard allowance. Morayo lacks ability to tackle insecurity, Castina NNPP chairman says. After a 168-day strike, ASU issues 4-week extension. Wike PDP BOT meets Wednesday, plans peace panel. And UBA, goodness, this Tony Elimele looks like he's not even in this country at all. Like, he doesn't even...
The economy of the country is not touching him.
His posture, fire. He doesn't even live in this country. The guy is just in a different world. Super.
I wonder how his wife and kids
will be feeling,
you know?
6 children.
I mean, I follow him on social media.
I follow him on the number. We're talking about the admiration.
Let's the guy just so happy. His face is just no wrinkle, nothing.
Fresh.
Peace of mind.
In this Nigeria.
Money is good, my people.
Oh, yeah, let's find story. Major headline.
Yes, no, I have a human interest story. Very sad story of a young man, 23-year-old Chigozie Gideon, sadly died July 31st after being lynched by a mob. He had gone to spend some time with his friend in an area that says is opposite Ojo military cantonment, and that sadly this boy has some psychological issues, and sometimes he behaves, out of character. It says on this particular day he was sleeping, they were sleeping, and he woke up much earlier than his host, and they're wandering about, and then jumped over the fence into a compound. The people in the compound were screaming and shouting, and then he jumped into the net. So everyone just gathered around him, accusing him maybe of stealing or something. And before you know it, they were hitting and beating him. His friend realized he wasn't there, heard the noise, went there, tried to appeal to the people that this is his friend, that he's not feeling well. And they put them together, accused him of being an accomplice. They said while they were hitting him, the friend ran away. Anyway, they took cutlasses, machetes to him. Sadly, he died in hospital. So the family is asking for, justice. The police so far have been able to arrest about 4 suspects. And even one of the suspects showed one of the cutlasses that was used on the poor boy. Yes.
Oh, God.
So that's really a mob action.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Still reviewing Punch. You had a story?
Yes, so the federal government is yet to commence the implementation of the increased hazard allowance for health workers 7 months after its announcement. They said that the federal government had announced December 2021 that the hazard allowance will be increased, which is applicable to health workers in all healthcare facilities across the country. And that was put in a circular December 22nd, 2021. Now, according to, first of all, they said the hazard allowance was reviewed to a flat rate that ranges from 5,000 to between 15,000 and 34,000 for health workers on the coerced salary structure, while doctors on commerce had theirs reviewed from 5,000 to between 32,000 and 40,000. But health workers across the country are confirming to the Punch correspondent that they have not received anything. It has not been implemented. And they were expecting that at least before the end of July, they would have seen it reflect in their salary, which they have not gotten. So they said they are going to be having a meeting, and in 2 weeks, they would decide if they're going to be taking an industrial action or not, because the government needs to pay this hazard allowances.
So on the backdrop of all the security challenges we have in the country, the NSCDC is warning that we should ensure that we profile everybody that we hire, especially because we shouldn't hire fleeing terrorists. According to him, they had actually arrested a suspected Boko Haram commander working as a security guard at a residential building in Ijayi area of Abeokuta. Wow. They were able to use intelligence to find him, and they were trying to, his objective was to plant cells within that region to infiltrate. And according to him, they are also working to get other of such commanders who have also are coming around, so we should be very careful. And the reason why they were able to catch this guy was because he came through a company and they were able to profile him and then to find out his source. So, which I'm even scared because I just hired somebody in my house. But so we have to profile and ensure. However, the PRO of Lagos State Police here, Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Hodein, said that on Monday they have several meetings to strategize on how to forestall any attack. But right now, Lagosians have nothing to worry about because everything is under control, and they're ensuring that they're putting all hands on deck to ensure the safety of Lagosians especially. But hey, we have to be very security conscious at this time in hiring people fleeing terrorists. Be very careful not to hire fleeing terrorists.
Let me take the story of the real estate, my industry. As I saw it, they said the legal tussle might tie up assets within the Eco Atlantic. The company, a real estate company called Sea Global Energy Limited, are the promoters of a place called Ocean City Lagos Project. They got approval from the former president of President Olusegun Obasanjo, around at May 2003, for them to reclaim about 350 hectares of land from the Atlantic Ocean as an extension of the Ahmadu Bello Way in Victoria Island. However, another company known as, they call this the Ocean City, another company, the one that we know, Energix, got approval from Lagos State government, also from the president then in 2005, in order to resolve the crisis of Bar Beach and the water spilling in, they were also meant to reclaim some land. Now the question is that the Sea Global Energix is saying that Eco Atlantic has encroached on about 44 hectares of land initially allocated to Sea Global for their, as part of their own 350 hectares of land. I know that they said they've written to the Minister for Works and Housing, that's about the former governor of Lagos State, Fashola, to help resolve the issue. But the question is, this is now, a lot of banks, international companies are putting their investment into Eco Atlantic, and this doesn't, the American Embassy is also building have their building there. This doesn't speak well for further investment coming into Eco Atlantic if there is a case of likelihood of land tussle. Nobody will want to buy until the situation is resolved. I'm hoping that this is not good for business at all. Quickly
to Daily Sun. Bloody day in Plateau. Taraba as terrorist strike. IPOP issues stay away order against Igbo politicians. Majority of senators in support of impeachment move against Buhari, says Bolkachua. ASU dashes hope of Vasisi's resumption, extends strike by 4 weeks. Rivers, Abia communities reject Sahara Energy on OML 11 operation. Farming, Buhari gives marching orders to Naseni. Protests rock Abuja over insecurity. We don't fix cut-off marks, says Jam. Which story are we starting with, ladies?
Let me start with the sad major headline, Bloody Day in Plateau. The story is that gunmen suspected to be Fulani headsmen on Sunday night attacked a village called the Chol village in Vang district. They said they came in about 7 p.m. and this family of 8, Mr. Pam Gyang, his wife and 6 children were killed by these bandits. Other people were injured as they were shooting sporadically. The spokesperson for the community said those who were injured have been taken to Vom Christian Hospital. This is coming just 24 hours after in Wase local government, Plateau State still, 18 people lost their lives as a result of clash between bandits and vigilante group. And then go to Taraba State. On Sunday, 3 were killed, 6 abducted in Joromanu town. So it just seems like a few of the spokespeople that have spoken from these different communities just say that they don't feel like government understands what's really going on. In fact, the representative for Just South, Just East, he says he's among those who have, put down their support behind the impeachment of the president if nothing is done concerning the killings and, banditry and terrorism going on in our country. Really sad.
Still within the insecurity space, Senator Adamu Bokachua yesterday revealed that a lot of senators, that majority of senators elected on the platform of the All Progressive Party are in support of the impeachment of the president for failure to tackle the security challenges. They said every one of them, there was a closed-door meeting, and in the private meeting, many of them agreed before it even became public.
The
APC senators agreed that it wasn't 100% unanimous, but majority supported it. He was speaking on a national television interview. He said it is not a question of the party per se.
Exactly.
What is happening is that we in the legislative arm of government have tried all within our power except one thing, in terms of dealing with the challenge. And he said we have engaged service chiefs and other security personnel to find out what the problems are and how we can bring solution. We've tried to find solution. We go ahead and advise the president. And when we realize that it is not working, the situation is getting worse, even the financial situation of the country is not improving, we have said we as one arm of the government might be limited, but we can go ahead to do something. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this will go, because I've said that this is our
what that does for us is even lets Nigerians retrust that this government, this democracy can actually work. Somebody must check the executive. Somebody must. You can't continue like this.
The legislature is too powerful.
I'm so happy
they won't populate though, but we're happy that they're waking up.
Never. Somebody must wake somebody up. If I cannot be doing waking the guy up, somebody must wake him up.
He needs the waker in his life.
I like that.
We gotta send this up.
We gotta send me there.
Wake them up.
Let me take this still on insecurity. See, that's all we're talking about. A group called Guardians of Democracy and Development Initiative are asking the president to sack the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mungunum, and the Defense Minister, Major General Bashir Magashi, saying that both of them are incompetent and that the defense, according to them, said the defense minister is incompetent. Sack him now. Magashi must go. We say no to incompetence. And they were saying that because Magashi had initially said that people are tired and beginning to gravitate towards self-help. And they said, no, that's even understating the situation. According to them, they said the truth that Nigerians are not just getting tired. We are suffocated, frustrated, threatened, apprehensive, completely uncertain about our safety and that of our loved ones. We cannot continue this way. And both NSA and the Minister of Defense must resign or must be sacked. So it has gotten to that point where you just took a story, a whole family of 8. Who's going to fight for them? Bandits.
Nobody.
So it's
quickly,
really
alleged threats by terrorists to invade Abuja, and a lot of residents are panicking all over Abuja. And so IPOB is saying and calling on Igbo elders and politicians, say you people should not run home without Nnamdi Kanu. You must bring him as you are planning to run home. Abuja right now is looking like it's not safe, and they are believing that most of the politicians want to come back home, to settle because of that. I said, you must come back to Nnamdi Kanu, or else when you want us to listen to you when something about the jungle happens, we will not listen to you. So it's a warning to the politicians to still fight and see how they can get Nnamdi released unconditionally.
We have to wrap up. We run out of time.
I wanted to really take a story.
We have to run, unfortunately. We'll take it tomorrow.
No, she'll take it tomorrow.
Running.
Okay, so the donor harvesting with the Ekori story.
Okay.
Information.
Is he still in prison?
He's still held in detention, but the conversation now is that the man reported that he's an orphan. But the son were able to find his parents, find the school, his primary school and secondary school records to show that he's actually 21. He finished secondary school. His parents are alive and well. He's not an orphan and he's not 15. This would help.
Hopefully.
That's just one side. The other
That
side
is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we want our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So this morning we're going to be discussing police brutality. And the reason why we're discussing is because of the recent reports we've seen. There was one recently about in Cross River State. An incident happened where I think it was in there's a town, Ekori Community. An unidentified man was being hit by a cutlass. A policeman was using a cutlass to hit an unidentified man. And this obviously video went viral because it only speaks to the brutality Nigerians are still experiencing on the hands of many police officers. However, the CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, that's the Nigeria Police Force PRO, has already said that this is sad, that they were going to obviously investigate, that was completely uncalled for. The act of the policeman was completely uncalled for, and he said that the Commissioner of Police in the state has been contacted and necessary action will be taken on that incident specifically. Now, so we're happy of that, but you see, this morning we wanted to discuss what the police is doing, because we know after NSAS, there was a lot of talk on reformation of the police, what we're going to do, and if we want to be fair, we have seen a bit of changes in the sense that we've seen more presence on Twitter. I have seen quite a few of them. I think it's Benjamin Hundeyin has been quite active on social media. Muyiwa Adejobi has also been quite active on social media, where they will almost respond immediately to when these things happen. So we're happy about that. However, the guys on the streets are not getting the memo. There's still a disconnect. What do you think? What have you observed as a Nigerian, and what do you think can be done to also fast-track this reform the police are probably trying to achieve?
I don't know about fast-tracking. I think this sort of thing takes time. What we're talking about is training. What we're talking about is education. Because if we look at the caliber of people that apply to the police force, we've heard, I mean, we have taken stories where they talk about some of them not properly educated, you know, and it almost seems like a dumping ground for people who have not, you know, gotten a proper education, gone through school properly. And so the police has a lot of work with that level of police officers. There has to be proper education. They have to do it, whether we like it or not, because it reflects in how they do their policing job. So they would understand that the person that they are policing, the Nigerian, is your... He pays for you to do this job. He pays your salary, and your job is to protect this Nigerian. And there is a way to do it. If the person has been caught, either he has traffic infraction, whatever it is, there is a process. You don't go about screaming, shouting, carrying cutlasses or guns and hitting people for that. You lock them up. I mean, you arrest them if you have to. You give them a ticket if you need to. You correct where you need to. That is just simply education, and I feel that will take time, especially that we're talking to adults. If we had baby police officers, probably we can even say, okay, in a few years when they become this age. But with these people, we have to do serious mindset. They need to go for evolve. Serious mindset resetting, you know, before we see any
Right, so let me come to you, Tokwe. I mean, your thoughts on this, especially even, I mean, you talked about traffic infractions. I mean, we saw reports of people complaining that, oh, because I did something wrong, you then wielding a gun at me. So what should be the modus operandi? Yes, we understand the mentality that they should have, but they don't have, they're very far from it. Do we want a 360 change? How do we, how do we understand the progress that they're going through right now?
You are only as strong as your weakest link, you know. So there are amazing, brilliant, hard-working, patriotic Nigerians within the police force. And I've met a few of them, and I'm really impressed when I hear them talk. I'm like, why? I don't see you on the streets. I don't see you, you know. But that's what the police at the head don't realize is that their weakest link is a reflection of about all of them. So no matter how strong you guys are at the top, your weakest link would reflect on you, and it breaks you. So it's important that you train those weak links, because they can make all your efforts seem like nothing. Now, when it comes to training, we tend to put so much budget on training. I'm a proud Ijebu girl. I like to stretch the value of money. I believe that you must find a way to work with the little resources you have and get maximum impact. So what do we want to do? We want to we want to reorientate the mindset of our police officers on the road. Those are the ones we need to deal with. And it will start from leadership, but there must be a concise, regular effort. They need to hear the right things every day. They need to start feeling that they are important, they are valuable. I see police officers try to stop me and they use a gun, and I feel like, what if you mistakenly, okay, you think, okay, it's not cocked or something, but like, you can't don't do that to me. What if the person has high blood pressure and the person just in shock? They do that. There are little things we can do, but it starts with how we treat ourselves. So when we help our police officers see the value in themselves, you might be wearing black and on the road and the sun is beating you, but you are doing it with dignity, and you know that you are adding value to the community. When we start helping them feel that way, they would respect themselves and they would elicit respect. I also feel that our police officers, we need to stop this begging thing. It looks bad on you. And I know that you're hungry. I know that you have bills to pay. But you can't just see people and the first thing you do is beg, because it waters out your ability to actually secure their lives. You cannot check on me if I just bribe you and I go. It just doesn't work.
So let me come to you, BC, because I know that we've seen, there was a video recently that the police dismissed an officer who was celebrating, extorting, saying that, I collect money, you know. So we have seen they're working. I mean, in fairness to the police, they are making efforts. But why is there a disconnect with these guys on the streets? The guys on the roads, they have no idea what's going on in the Nigerian police.
So the police is working. We need to applaud them for what they are doing. But what I see is there are certain jobs that require an understanding of how human behavior works. There are certain jobs that are rooted in psychology. You cannot be an effective teacher, classroom teacher, if you do not understand the psychology of children. And that's why you see teachers that will use cane and flog a 2-year-old for playing with sand, you know, because they do not understand that psychology. The police are constantly dealing with human beings on the street. They cannot be doing that job when they have a lot of trauma in themselves. It will reflect on how they treat the other person. So it's not about the person who is standing in front of them. It's about the trauma that they carry that is reflecting on their job. So when they call...
Evolve 3.0.
I'm feeling you. Go ahead.
So when they call the police and they say, we want to train them, what sort of training are they focusing on? Are they focusing on psychology, mindset change, human behavior, or they just want to train on just, you know, doing it like an ordinary job, or just teaching and they will write tests and they pass? They need to understand the workings of the police system, and they need to study other countries that have sort of perfected the workings of that system. We need to tell ourselves the truth. The average Nigerian is an angry person because of all the things that are happening that does not please them. And the police is a reflection of who we are. Now, this person who is angry now suddenly has a gun and equipment that will enforce that anger. What do you think will happen? So it's that root in psychology that the police needs to begin to look into, so that you will not see that disconnect. So the person who is sitting in the office, the salary is a bit better than that one on the street. Things are a bit working a bit better for that person. So you will not see that animalistic tendency on the ones that will come and explain to us and speak the English and say, we're going to sanction this and sanction that. but you will see the crux of the problem on those ones on the street who are in the sun, in the rain, and trying to enforce the law when also, they are not happy from within them.
Listen, we are going to be at the tail end of whatever happens with the police.
Yeah.
So I think also, this economy, I always have to look at it on both sides.
Yeah.
The side of the people. We, the people, also, we have a part to play in this. We already know that the police, many of them are disgruntled, many of them are not well taken care of, they have frustrations, as you have said. Knowing that, and as I am on the road, I'm about to confront the police, shouldn't I also have my own countenance speaks volumes on how condescending I look at him? Because it even aggravates him further. Because a lot of people, a lot of police officers say, is it because you have something, or they feel like because you're comfortable. So you as a Nigerian also, should there be a conduct of how you carry yourself when you see a police officer with respect and dignity, the same way you treat them abroad? Yeah, this one doesn't have the nice paraphernalia of the office like they have abroad. But if you see an American police, there's a way you accord them respect. If you give that semblance of respect to your police, even albeit looking all tattered, maybe he will feel dignified. And he'll still treat you with some respect because they're already ground and they already feel like the government has abandoned them on all levels. I'm just trying to see things from different levels.
I see what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. And on paper, it sounds like, it's a point, but this is Nigeria. Many people, when they approach the police, because we're already afraid of all sorts of things that can happen, many people, when they approach the police, they are, most of the time, on their best behavior. The only set of group of people, I think what you're talking about, they should listen. You see those bus drivers? I have seen sometimes when they would drive off, police officers trying to talk to them because they have done something, they're trying to drive off. Sometimes I get really upset on the police officers on their behalf. So, but normally, regular Nigerians want to be on their best behavior because they don't want to spend too much time with this police officer. Good afternoon, officer. Then sometimes you just feel that because you are nice, you think, this one is weak. We will show you. Bring out your paper. Bring this. Bring out your... See,
I disagree.
Well, maybe in your case, but I have seen the fact that I've seen situations where sometimes, even because you're being extra polite, it makes them, it makes them stop you even more often because it happened to me too many times to count.
So let me flip
now, I have seen also where those who don't send them are driving away, they don't even bother to stop those ones. They don't even bother to want to even talk to those ones because they know that those ones, they will get, into some form of, violence with them and they let them go. So I feel that it's really about training and how the policeman puts himself. A lot of people also don't want to engage the police for too long because the next thing, as someone mentioned here, is that they're asking for something. So,
let me flip it a bit because I think it's actually the other way around if I look at it the other way. The bus drivers, they relate with these guys every day, passing the same route every single day, seeing the same guy. So they're used to the 20 naira just move, 20 naira just move. They are so used to that. But you, the educated person, do you know who I am? They already have that condescending look of, you don't right. You can't talk to me. Please, I'm going to work. I have things to do. I don't have time for this nonsense. So that look already, you might be right. We have different experiences.
I feel that,
I'm saying that
when it gets to that point is when I've given you the paper. I've given you this. You already know that all the things you have asked me to give, I've given you.
Oh, yeah.
And then next question you're
so
looking for.
That
what do you want me to do next?
Remember, you're right and I'm right. There are different experiences. There are people on this side and there are people on that side. Many don't even know. There are many. Doing that, I just got back season. When everybody's back for the holidays, everybody's like, you don't talk to me like that. You don't know America. They do that. There's also the Nigerian that feels, I am educated. I don't have time for this. They take your 29. I don't want your 29. Show me your particulars. There are a few of those. So you're right.
You don't hear that conversation, though. You see that part? That's what you just said. I don't watch your... I've never heard that one before.
I just said that one. I just said that one to sandwich.
The one that I experienced...
I have to go on a break.
Okay.
When I come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing police brutality. You can call us on 0812705367, 09139076948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. So I think we have Emmanuel on the phone. Good morning, Emmanuel. Are you there? Okay, we lost that call. Yes.
So I was going to share my experience with police. I sort of didn't want to tilt towards Mariam, but I realized that they respond better to your confidence aggression. I have my documents. Do I look like I don't have my documents? Do I look like someone that does not have, you know, you say all those things and then they let you go like this one is not going to do anything. But I tend to be polite. I tend to answer their questions. I tend to show them my documents. I tend to do all of that. And then it's a never-ending series of conversation, you know, until they find something that they would just use to delay you. And it ends up in settling. So you might as well just settle up front. Then another category that I meet often are the ones that they don't even ask you, happy Sunday. The sun is very hot, so you don't give your sisters and brothers something to drink, you know, water to drink. Very friendly. Ogudu Junction, you know. They are my customers. Right, calling them out. Yes, because they're usually very friendly.
Nice, so those ladies are nice.
Yes, they're friendly. They smile.
In fact, I put some cold drinks for them, because they're really nice.
Yes, they smile, they greet you, and I think that that's a better approach as opposed to trying to harass people into doing so. You know, you still want to collect, and you might as well just approach in a smiling way. And I'll check if I have change. And we're all facing it. We're all in the sun. We're all facing dollar prices going up. We're all buying Gary for expensive prices. So the days when things are good, I would easily want to share with the person working. And it would really, really help. As opposed
because
to
that's who we are as Nigerians. Yes. Let's not pretend. We love to share. We love to give.
And we
if
love
we
to
see
beg.
a police officer hot, we'll give you soft drinks. But be nice to us. You know, I have a call. Good morning, Hassan. Are you there?
Good morning, Morayo.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Volume, please. Good morning, the panel members.
Good morning, sir.
Look, you see, there's an issue here. You are looking at police from the top and the middle. You need to go back to the bottom. First of all, we inherited colonial police force that is anti-people. That's number one. Number two, the recruitment process of the police. A recruitment where people take money to recruit into the Nigerian police force. You have already recruited people with a very, very bad mindset.
Exactly.
With your attitude of recruitment, taking money for recruitment. It's in the public space about this issue of paying money to get enlisted into the Nigerian police force. It has nothing to do with education. If you like, be a professor. Immediately they take money from you, you know what to do. And that person that took money from you has already disarmed himself. Because taking bribes makes you poor. You understand? So we should begin to look at the recruitment process of the police.
All right.
We should begin to talk to ourselves.
Thank you, Hassan. Let me pause you for a second, because when it comes to bribe taking, it's taken and given. Somebody is giving this bribe. You as a Nigerian too have that responsibility, because Nigerians, the truth is, it takes two to tango. Yeah. You that are collecting the bribe, me that I'm giving you, I'm equally guilty. Nigerians never want to go through the process. They expect me to call Mariam and say, please, my sister wants to become a police, so how far, what can I do? Connection, enter. They don't want to go to the website and apply. They don't want to take their CV there. No, it happens to all of us. They call me, Morayo, please, your sister wants to go, can I enter TVC? No, there's a website. Apply online. There's a process. Nobody in Nigeria likes to do process. We like to make calls. So same thing. So the police officer is being called, please, your brother wants to enter police, so how far? Yeah, you have to give this person money. It takes two to tango. So yes, the police has an issue collecting. You, the giver, you are equally guilty. Yes. So all of us, we are in this matter.
I agree with you, Morayo. It takes two to tango, like you have said. And if we have to tackle this issue, it has to be holistic. The whole country needs a brain transplant. Everybody is behaving the same way, in different ways. So we express it. We express the madness.
We can yap the police, but
corruption
what we are doing
in different ways. Yes, we don't know that. So we need to begin to look forward to a new Nigeria, and that starts from the change that we, can begin to do ourselves in our own little space. So as a young Nigerian, an elderly Nigerian, you're stopped by the police. What's your first, even when the man is doing bang, 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 do you react in the same way?
Yes.
Or do you calmly talk to this man? I have always been stopped, some of the time, but I've never really had where you stop me and say, come down. When you see my face, I smile and I say, good morning. And because most of the time I look like $1,000,000, you will first of all size me up and like, okay, who is this person? And when I talk to you politely, I make sure that all my papers are complete. It's difficult to catch me. It's difficult to even catch me faulting with my papers. So is it the paper you want, or you want me to bless you today? Which of them? Because my papers are complete.
If you want that, I will show that. Of a Nigerian recently that said that he was driving on the BRT lane and the police was wielding a gun.
How do you not know a BRT lane?
So there are two factors. There's the BRT part, yes, because and the person claimed that the other cars passing and nobody stopped them. Well, we understand that. But so if the police catches you, you have been caught. There's a countenance you have. There's a way you look at it. Either you look apologetic, sir. Humility. You don't mess up. Vex. This one, I know I have not entered BRT lane. Please, no vex. But if you come up with, sorry, there's no sign, there's no signage here, the person will speak a little bit, they will arrest you. This is Nigeria. Unfortunately, this is Nigeria. That's the Nigeria we have today. In 35, 25 years, maybe to be the kind of Nigeria that you can say, sorry, there's no sign, you don't have the right to stop me. As of today, for you to get through, you accept first your fault. That you have messed up. I have this one, Oga, you are right. I entered BRT, I'm not supposed to. You are very correct. Please, what is the fine? Tell me, I'll go and pay it. Now, so there are different ways. I'm not speaking for the police. I'm just saying that now the police also could have also gone with aggression. It depends on what, because you have been easily under the influence. So there are different things. So you could have gone with aggression also, wielding his gun, which is also wrong. Either way, both were wrong. But we're saying that what's the Nigerian way to fix that kind of problem, Mariam?
Well, we started the conversation where we are talking of a particular police officer that used cutlass on somebody. It has to be the way that the trained professional policeman carries himself.
Exactly.
He needs to understand that if there's a traffic infraction, there's a way that you stop the person and arrest the person. A lot of times, people even try to they break these rules knowing that they'll get away with it. Is it not to beg them?
Exactly.
Is it not to open eye? Is it not to just dash him, some money? But if they know that that police officer you're going to meet, he's such a professional, you're in big trouble, they will not dare it. So it has to be about the person who has been given the job to enforce, and he does it properly. I don't want us to give police, when you wield the gun for someone that was not holding a knife and cutting down someone, that's not a bandit or terrorist, it's so wrong. When you shoot into the crowd of peaceful protesters, it's wrong.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're talking to, and I feel that has a lot to do with training, because as you said, the group of police officers that are on Twitter and they are talking, that come on the TV stations, they are different. At least they seem to be different at the time that we're speaking to them. They say the right things. They understand the right things. They even understand that these people have their rights. But somehow, as you've mentioned over and over again, it's not trickling down. To the ones on the streets. There's problem with training and there's problem with recruitment, because people are paying for recruitment. The sort of people who are recruiting, or the people that are interested in the police, are not educated enough. And if the police is really serious about changing things, what is the police academy doing? Now that I've mentioned the police academy, then we have to talk about the infrastructure. We have seen videos. We have seen videos of how bad it is there.
From Dotson. Good morning, Dotson. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm calling from Ekori. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, by way of digression, let me say something. You people are doing a very fantastic job over there.
Thank you, Dotson.
And I appreciate you people as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I want all Nigerians to realize one thing. And what we need to realize is that the police that we are talking about, they are actually doing a job like others, which as we do. If you come by way of appreciating them, that should be a personal thing. At least I've been in a situation whereby a police asked me and told me that I am on the street in the night while you are going home to meet your wife. So in that situation, I was like, that is the job you signed for. I didn't sign for that job. If I signed for that job, so I would also be on the street. So I said, we Nigerians, we're supposed to realize one thing. Everybody's supposed to know that these people, they are doing a job which they are being paid for.
Yeah.
And paying for it is normal.
Yeah.
So that's just my own contribution.
Thank you very much, Dr. I mean, I just read somebody's message here that recently they were stopped by the police and they offered the person money. In this Lagos, the police said did not collect it because he wanted to get their papers. He said, "Hi, Morayo. Yes, I agree with you. The police seem to be changing because I offered a policeman 500 naira in...
This is 500 naira.
500.
Yeah.
Said that, and he said, no, he asked my particulars, he asked my papers. When everything was complete, he wished me a very good day and allowed me to go.
Oh,
so there are those. Yes. So there is a good mix. We have the ones who have not gotten the memo. They are yet to get the memo from the IG. Because there was a lady.
Yes, I've never met a police officer like that. I wish you got this police officer.
No,
I have never, ever met one that said, I don't want your money. I just want to make sure that your papers
There's
are...
another one. The governor of Lagos State celebrated one policewoman. Yeah. She conducts traffic where about 10 schools in that community, like the schools are connected to her. And she makes sure the downfalls, everybody, she's so hardworking. People give her money, and she ensures that the children cross the major roads very safely. So there are those who are hardworking, who take their jobs very serious. However, our problem are those who wield their guns indiscriminately. Yes. We need to re-educate those ones. Yeah. The ones that are under the influence, the ones that demanding bribe from us. That memo from the IG must get to them.
Yeah, Morayo, let's also talk about the love for the job. So because everybody is looking for a job somehow, let's just find ourselves in something so that we can at least earn a living. A lot of people get into jobs that they are not interested in. So you see a policeman, exerting frustration on a driver or a commuter on the road because, do you think that I like what I'm doing? No be condition put me for here. Do you understand? Yeah. If we sort out their welfare, we will get people who love the job because there are people who want to really serve and help protect lives and properties. We will get those people in the job. And when we get them in the job, a lot of things are easier because you are doing something you enjoy doing. Whether you are getting perks or not, you are focusing on the job. So if the police needs to do a lot. If you go to their barracks and you see how they live, you will weep. As a Nigerian, you will cry. And that's why sometimes I just want to dash them something because I understand how it is for them, especially now that we are in an economic crisis. A lot of things, that we don't really have the purchasing power. And I wonder, those of them who are still receiving minimum wage, they haven't been paid for a while, how do they survive? Yeah. We need to put that into consideration. The police, the federal government, the resources people are putting there, we are not seeing it yet. It's not reflecting in the average policeman on the street. When they die or anything happens to them, their wives are kicked out. They don't have anything to fall back on. We need to sort that as a country.
I observe. I've been saying this uniform.
Then we saw House of BC for them.
I must observe that I think on Fridays they wear that camouflage looking blue.
I saw one.
Are you sure the ones on the streets wear it?
Yes, on Fridays.
I'm telling you, I noticed one and I was like, oh, where's Morayo? This guy looks so smart.
Cute, wow.
I mean, usually when they see their belt, it's almost, this one, his belt was new. I was in the car with my driver, I was like, Morayo would have loved to see this policeman. Yes, and he was engaging with commuters. So this is not someone that was in a car. He was really talking and he looked really nice. I don't know, I was checking to see if there was any stars. He just looked like a regular
blue and black pants, they're beautiful.
Yes,
the camouflage looking one that also has grayish thing, it's fine.
Maybe we should stick to that.
So
and take out the black.
I prefer that blue. To have a spokesperson from the police, I'd like to find out how often they change their kits for them. Because I've heard police officers say that they had to buy
their kits
by themselves. And out of all the budgets, the things that you have to deal with, the conversation you're saying that, the police officers talking to the Nigerian Police Commission, they are important, but I also want us to talk to Nigerians because many of us react to these police officers. Yeah. We see them and we are angry. They have a responsibility to stop vehicles. I have to remind my driver, slow down when they wave slow down, greet them, we move on. I drive to Ekpe all the time and I follow Shagamu. There are stop junctions. When those stop points, when we get to the stop point, we wind down. Madam, good afternoon. I pray for you too. We say, if we are going to find daily bread, God will bless your ministry. He bless my ministry. I move on. I don't even tip. But I am so pleasant to them. I go, we just change the way you respond to them. When you see them, even if they are angry, your smiling face would help their own countenance. It goes in because they are also under a lot of stress. Yeah. And so we should do our own best to support them.
I know NSAS took a toll on us.
Everybody just sees them as them.
And we're using the NSAS anger to talk to every policeman. Maybe also we should also calm down and treat them with respect. Maybe we can get a better response. But I'm told that we now have the first PR Olumuyiwa Adejobi on the phone with us. Good morning, sir. I hope you are ready for all our questions. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning. Good morning, my sisters in the house.
Fantastic. Good to have you. Let's start with the Cross River State matter. What's the update? What's the update with the policeman, Wilding Cutlass? Where did he get Cutlass from?
Ojubo. Well, it's quite unfortunate to have seen that thing again. I want you to know that it's an individual thing. Even no reasonable man should use cutlass or machete to flog anybody. Exactly. I don't think anybody wants to punish his or her son or child and be using cutlass to flog. Let alone a grown-up man, a Nigerian or harmed Nigerian. And it's quite unfortunate, and we condemn that in totality.
Okay.
But I want to assure you that the policeman has been identified. The IGP has directed that the matter be brought to the force headquarters for proper disciplinary action, and we are going to look into that matter objectively. So the policeman will be brought to the force headquarters tomorrow by the Commissioner of Police in charge of Cross River State, CP Aminu Alasan.
Wow.
I'm bringing him personally to the headquarters. And don't let me be judgmental about the outcome of the trial procedure, but whatever it is, we are going to get you people informed. So we condemn that in totality.
Right.
And you can see that this present administration led by IGP Usman Akali Baba will not tolerate any act of unprofessionalism or act of indiscipline. And we don't support that in any way. We have policemen who work, even from his dressing, you will know he's not a disciplined person, because policemen on the road should not even dress in that manner. So we are not disgruntled element like a word you use the other time. We are not. Don't generalize when you are discussing police. We have a system that works. We have individuals who do whatever they want to do. So if you do something wrong out of the provisions of the law, you have to carry your cross.
All right. Go ahead.
So what would you advise, like, going forward with commuters and police officers? Do you advise that we use our phones to, record situations? Because I hear you and I hear your response, and it's very professional, and we like that. But the reality on ground is that he's just one of many. And we're the ones on the streets who will tell you you cannot be everywhere. This is just one of so many of them. This is how they act. What should I do as a Nigerian, and how to make sure also that I can get you to respond to something that's happened to me because a policeman acted unprofessionally?
Well, one thing I want you to note is that even we officers, we go as Nigerians on our way, we drive, we move around. Even the Nigerian police personally at times, we drive his vehicle to go around and assess things. We see situations like this where even some policemen will stop us. All we need to do, what I've noticed is that most Nigerians, by the time they see policemen at a distance, they pick up offense. They don't like seeing police in any way. And it's just because of this hatred that we're having this gap. And we should not be having this gap. Police is part of the system. You cannot spell woman without man. You can't spell she without he. These are two entities that are highly inseparable. So if we see them on the road, respect is reciprocal. Talk to them, they're human beings. I can't stop you at the point I want to talk to you, and the music in your vehicle is so loud that you cannot even hear me. You feel not concerned. A policeman on the road is a human being, and they are there to do the job the way it should be done, to maintain law and order. So when you see them, as they appoint, respect them, I'm very, very sure they will respect you.
Okay.
But in case you see those that want to go out of their band, that's why we have gadgets everywhere. There's nothing wrong if you are videoing or taking pictures of policemen, because they have the right to do the same. I've told our men in some cases that When we have issues like this and there's argument, you too can record situations, you can record things, in case you have a case to prove. So anybody can record anybody at any time. If my IG has a function, IG will not stop anybody to record him. You're a public officer, you're a law enforcement officer, they can video you when you're on duty, except they are doing something wrong. That's why you can be scared of being recorded.
Let me get a few more questions for you. Go ahead.
Okay, so recording is very dangerous. So we've had reports of people who recorded, their phones were taken from them and they were beaten. But that's not my question. The question I have is how often do you people communicate with those people on the streets? So you make a law or a pronouncement, and the people on the streets, the police officers on the streets, are not acting in accordance to what you have said either in the papers or the television. How often do you intimate them with the new laws and pronouncements so that they can act it out on the streets and not acting like they are not aware of what has been said?
The police has many ways of communicating to officers and men, category by category, on platforms, on various platforms by platforms. If any policeman is telling you he's not aware of the IGP's directive, he's a liar. And let me say that in as much as we are part of a society, we are bound to believe in theory of anomaly theory. There must be a deviance anywhere you have it. With more than one person, there must be a deviant behavior. So no policeman can claim ignorance of the IGP's directive or standard operating procedure of the police. The moment you are employed to the police, you are trained to know and work in line with provisions of our standard operating procedure and police act and regulations. So if any policeman on the road is saying, I'm not aware, he's just a deviant and is on his own. We have means of communicating, and I think we do, the IGP has upgraded our ICT platforms. As I'm speaking with you now, we have inspectors that can fly across board on a platform where I manage myself. I'm the admin of that platform, and on a daily basis, I upload news. I upload directives to all of them. There's no one that will not be claiming that is not aware of IGPs. Right. On a daily basis, I man the platform myself on the instruction of the Surgeon of Police. Right. Okay. We talk to them. We have daily order. We have meetings. We have meetings with the CPs tomorrow again. So on a regular basis, we send CPs to them. We send area commanders to them. We send DPOs to them. And from CR department, we have platforms where we reach out to them. So anybody standing claiming ignorance of that is not being fair and is a liar.
Okay.
All right. I want you to help me clarify 3 points. Just 3 things. First, I want to ask about the mental. What is the police internal infrastructure to help with the mental health of our police officers? When I see police officers on the streets, majority of them are angry. There's a look of frustration, and it is a very, very stressful job. I feel that there must be a plan, a system that helps them to relieve the everyday stress of that job. So mental care. Number 2, second question, is about their physical kits. We see police officers and their boots are worn out. We see police officers and their uniform look like, I'm sure you are looking your uniform smart. Is good. How often does the force, the police, replace their kits? How many do they have a budget? How many do they get? How often do they get it? 2. Number 3, I want to ask about the enforcement. When we have police officers enforcing the Okada ban, enforcement of one-way drive, there seems to be a lot of aggression. I want to punish you. And there was a case that Nima reported happened in my mom's area where a stray bullet killed a young boy in a bus when they were trying to enforce the Okada ban. And the boy was abandoned, dead on the road. And these things can only be resolved by police officers. So can you help me answer these 3 questions? Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me start from the issue of mental alertness, mental health, and psychological treatment and the like. For a very long time, we've been having Nigeria Police Medical Unit. But recently, the Inspector General of Police just felt that we should diversify our engagement in this medical line. And he gave approval for the establishment of what we call police counseling and support unit. Okay. This unit is to take care of all these things you are saying, mental health and the like, and particularly PTSD. Most of our men that have just returned back from conflict theaters, They always assess our facilities, and we have our medical experts who attend to them before they are redeployed back to the field. So we take note of this, and we do this on regular basis. So we have that police support, counseling and support unit to take care of all this. Then on the issue of uniform, recently we have been following my trends either on Twitter or on my uploads. You notice that recently we made announcement the IGP has resuscitated a system in the police that has been abandoned for a very long time. For more than, if not for up to a decade, I've never seen where the force was issuing police uniform and kits or attachments to the members of the inspectors and rank and file. So the IGP has started this, and we have done like three sets of this. And this is not just giving them uniform, it's to give them complete, I repeat, complete uniform with the headgear up and down, with a boot, raincoat, and branded items that they would use, either in the rain or at any duty they have. And this we hope, and we are very sure that we are going to sustain. And because the IGP has laid this template, and this must be sustained. So we give them this. So if you see any policeman that is trying to dress dirty, it's a personal thing. I can't look dirty because I know I have dignity. So if you have a dignity as an individual, it will look neat. Even if you're on the road, you can't be on the road for weeks. At least the highest you do is 24 hours. And then you must be a day off. So when you are a day off, you have to do your personal administration to make sure your kit and your uniform are taken care of. So, like I always say, it's an individual thing. So we give them what we should give them. If it's not even enough, but at least 80% provision has been made to make sure that our men turn out good and very, very attractive.
Okay.
And this we promise to sustain. Then the enforcement. You know, every state has laws, and the way you operate is different over space. So, for instance, let me use Lagos. Lagos has a specific law on transportation, 2018 law. And the law is saying that if you follow one way, they are going to seize your vehicle totally for feature to the government. If you follow BRT lane in Lagos, it's 50,000 naira fine. If you make U-turn where you should not make U-turn, it's 20,000 and the like. So in the case of Okada, Lagos State has banned operations of Okada in so many areas. So our men on the road are always attacked by these Okada riders. And to be sincere, we attest the law even permits us to use minimum force in making sure we discharge our duties. So our men on the road, they have been professional in Lagos. In as much as I don't want to speak for Lagos, I speak for the IG, but I still know that I monitor everything that happens in Lagos. As of yesterday, you can see somebody was arrested, a journalist like you, and sharing fake news that policemen did it, only to discover later that he actually drove on BLT lane. You see, these are the things we manage because we are in the world of citizen journalism. We are in the world of digital media, that people can just come up with an Android and post whatever they want to post, either good or bad or genuine or fake. So we are trying to juxtapose so many things in this era because of this digital journalism.
Piero, let me jump in there for a second because we got that story too. There's an angle of that why would the policeman wield the gun at an unarmed citizen? So you want to correct an infraction. Should you be wielding your gun and threatening with your gun? That in itself is scary to any citizen, don't you think?
Well, if he has a gun, it's not to fire the gun. And it's okay he fire the gun. And the policeman, there's what we call hand guard position. What I saw there was the man was on hand guard position, not wearing gun to attack him or to shoot. I saw the thing myself. And the PRO Lagos briefing about this, and I monitor everything on social media. So if a policeman is carrying a gun, if there's something wrong, if it feels there's need for him to be on hand guard position, because that gun is for him to operate. Fine him as much as we know he cannot fire. Before you fire, there are rules and procedures to follow. But that position there was what we call hand guard position. He did not do that to shoot. He didn't do that to threaten anybody, but he just to defend himself first, then to take necessary action as a policeman on duty.
Fantastic. All right. So thank you very much, Pierre. I think you answered all our questions.
It didn't specifically
answer. Thank you, Morayo. IG said I should thank you for what you are doing, but you are not disgruntled element in the police, please. Thank you. I enjoy the rest of your
All right.
day.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you,
All right.
sir.
That's all we can take on that. Thank you so much. I think, but at the end of the day, police brutality is something that is not just from the side of the police, the side of the people also, both ways. Both of us must respect the police, and the police also must do enough to ensure that that we're safe and they're not brutalizing our citizens. That's important. So if we want to do a review from NSAS tonight to date, we said there has been a bit of improvement on what we see, but it can be better. There's a lot more work to be done. Yeah. So we hope that there's improved communication. We hear from them more often. We hear from them. They're constantly talking on social media. I mean, I'm so happy that they're always talking on social media. That's a good thing. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to break now. It's Tuesday. We can't but have a health topic, and we'll be discussing breastfeeding. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. According to the last National Demographic and Health Survey, the rate of exclusive breastfeeding in Nigeria is 28.7%. This means that over 71% of babies 0 to 6 months are not enjoying the unique benefits of breast milk. This is very low, and in commemorating World Breastfeeding Week, we have a medical doctor and international board-certified lactation consultant practicing in the UK, founder of the Milk Booster and the Breastfeeding Doc, Chini Obiwane. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Chini, it's good to have you. So we know your lactation is what you do, helping to consult, helping people to lactate better. I know many mothers like I did. I had serious issues lactating. I mean, the first baby I had, I was able to do 3 months consistent. The twins, I didn't even bother. You know, I didn't bother, like, you know what, from better being, I mean, I was breastfeeding them, but I had to supplement it with, you know, and then the last baby, like, you know what, I can't be bothered.
Be better than that.
So what do you tell a mother? What are those myths we need to squash in the issue of breastfeeding?
Okay, so first thing is, I really don't believe women should have issues with breastfeeding, especially with breast milk. The reason I say this is that I help mothers that did not carry their baby produce milk for their surrogate babies.
Wow.
So if that mom can have milk for her baby, so why would a mother that carried and birthed her own babies not produce milk? So the issues I find is, like you said, myths. We have myths within Nigeria that has been going on for ages and is limiting, and we have a huge gap in lactation knowledge. I've attended an antenatal class before, and it's really outdated practice. So we need to come up with the new up-to-date practice, educate women, empower them, because gone are the days where we expect breastfeeding not to have any issues. Majority of women that go through breastfeeding experience 1 or more issues during that period.
So what are we doing wrong that we have cases of mothers who are saying they're unable to breastfeed their children, they're not making milk at all, not making enough milk? In my own personal case, it takes 3 to 4 days before I can start breastfeeding.
Let me pause you for a second because I have to go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the founder of the Milk Booster and the Breastfeeding Dr. Chini Obiwane. Yes,
I have a question. Just in response to what you said, that every mother should be able to breastfeed or lactate, but I want to know why some mothers can't. Why it takes some mothers a few days before the breast milk comes in, like in my personal case. Why some people will tell you that their milk is not enough for their baby and have to supplement. And why some just don't have breast milk at all.
Okay, so I'll start from the last part. There's about 5% of women around the world that really would struggle to produce enough to do exclusive. This is a very small number. And those women, they would actually be the one most of the time to tell you that they feel during puberty, their breasts look different compared to other women. So they already know something is wrong with their breast, the way it formed. That's just ruling out those ones. But when it now comes to every other woman, you have to look at it this way, that from the time you're pregnant, your body has already started working for you in terms of breastfeeding. From second trimester, every woman that is pregnant starts producing colostrum, which is the first milk that you have once you've had your baby. When your baby now comes, during that whole period, the whole pregnancy hormones just go down. And when they go down, then your breastfeeding hormones can begin to release that milk. So the timeline that you expect between when you've had your baby producing drops of milk, spoonfuls of milk, which is the colostrum, and that is more than enough to sustain that newborn that you have. By day 3, day 2, the full milk now comes in, which is the white milk we all know. We don't know the smaller volume milk that is small but mighty. We only know the white milk that is big, but when you compare it to the small volume of milk, it's almost the same. So it's normal for your milk to come in by day 3 in big volume. But before then, you've already started producing milk since second trimester. So what you need to do is have that, the milk is there. The thing is that we are not taught on how to hand express it, because your head needs to see it to believe it. You understand? But if your baby is always at the breast every 2 to 3 hours, after having skin to skin within the first hour of birth, you would see your baby getting that droplet of milk and gaining weight and passing the first 2. And that increase in frequency will encourage that big milk that you know to now come in. And it will come in earlier because your baby has constantly been on the breast. One thing I noticed with the Nigerian system is that many women from that onset, because they don't understand there's colostrum, they don't understand that even though the volume of colostrum is small but is enough to keep your baby, they don't understand that your baby's stomach at that stage is very small and doesn't need that big volume. So they start supplementing with formula. You see a mom say, oh, there's nothing on the breast, I'm giving 10 ml. But you already know that you're setting yourself up for failure, because that baby at that age is not meant to be having that volume that you're giving that baby. And what happens is that the stomach is an organ that stretches the more you give it. So it happens to babies. As you're giving that baby that extra volume, your baby is going to be demanding more in terms of appetite. And what it requires from you is constantly forcing your own body to produce to meet up. And I see that with many women where they've fallen into the cycle where they always have to top up with formula, have to top up. When they now come to me and I go through the whole process with them, within a week, you can see them meeting up and then providing full 100% breast milk for their babies.
My children come out of the womb very hungry, and they need to eat. Like they come out sucking, especially the last one came out sucking. She really needed to eat, and it was, we just had to substitute, which, I couldn't avoid at the time because she was constantly hungry. But my question is, I've seen 3 people around me who were not able to breastfeed. The milk was not coming out with everything the doctors tried. 3 experienced them around me, and 3 of them had very large breasts. Does it have anything to do with size? And is there any diet women can eat that may help people like that breastfeed?
Okay, so your breast size does not have any effect in terms of your breast milk supply. What does matter is your breast milk producing glands. So in all of us, whether you're big-breasted or small-breasted, we all have the breast milk producing glands. And this naturally, they increase in size and volume during pregnancy. And once they increase, they have really prepared and start producing that colostrum. When you now come and see this myth that big-breasted women don't produce enough, that is a full myth. Because what I see from experience that big-breasted women suffer is with, in terms of obtaining a good latch with their baby. So I find that a mom is dealing with a big breast and it's hard for her newborn to latch on properly and get a deep latch that is needed. So that newborn ends up having shallow latch after shallow latch after shallow latch. And when a baby latches on and is not latching on correctly, that demand is not in there. And when the demand is not there, your body is going to start thinking there is no need for that milk production. And you will start producing less and less and less until you stop seeing any milk.
I struggled. I really struggled because I really wanted to breastfeed my child, but I just felt that the child wasn't full. They were constantly crying and crying. The milk wasn't enough. I felt the milk wasn't enough, so I had to supplement eventually after 3 months. I did exclusive my first child, but it was so tough to continue. I mean, because, so as a consultant, if you had seen me at the time, what would you have advised me to do at that time?
So at that time, what would have actually encouraged you to do was to boost your supply, which is where you have the milk booster.
How do we boost?
So the milk booster uses it's just a mixture of what we normally eat. Oats, chia seed, like natural seeds that you bring together to make something that is very nutritious, dense.
They tell us ogi in Nigeria. Is ogi nutritious for this thing?
They
just pack you with ogi once you get pregnant, once you deliver a baby like this.
So it's not a nutrient-dense meal. Ogi is not a nutrient-dense meal.
That's carbohydrates.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and it's really the fluid in ogi that is really boosting and the maize in it, but it's not nutrient-dense. So what we do is we just bring things that are nutrient-dense.
Like?
Oats, chia seed, sesame seed, almonds.
You blend it together.
Yes, and then make something that you enjoy to eat.
Nice.
And then increase your supply. And then one other thing I would have encouraged you to do was, because of your also big-breasted, was to get you to pump and make sure that your baby is getting a deep latch.
I pumped. I mean, trust me, I was really considering.
Was your baby deep latching?
Yes, it was deep latching.
So I think that mental preparation is important for me. In my experience, being mentally prepared, setting that intention made a huge difference. I had twins first, and I knew I wanted to breastfeed, but there was a lot of people around me, and I was overwhelmed with the children. You know, it was just so much. And then I didn't even know what I was doing. Then they were trying to put the breast into the mouth, everybody just touching you. And, it was just so overwhelming in the first 3 days that I don't really even think the boys had a proper latch in the first 3 days. So they didn't eat anything the first 3 days. And my in-laws just came and said, these boys are not eating. The next thing, formula, and that just took over. So I think about 5 days into the journey, we got into proper latch, and I was breastfeeding, but I already got a bit used to having the fact that there was formula helping. At what point would you say we should talk to a professional? Because with my baby, I did 6 months exclusive, and it was super easy, and I was walking, I was pumping, with Samuel.
But how do we do twins too? I like to answer that question. I had twins too. It was tough.
Yeah.
I put one like this, I put one the other way.
At
the same time?
Yes, at the same time. Whoa, the head with the
they
girl's
should
head was on the
understand
boy.
themselves. You eat first, the other one.
They are crying and screaming.
You know that she don't have twins.
The first one, the boy is here, the girl sits on his hair, on his tummy, and like this. So I'm crying. I'm telling you.
No, that's a lot of work.
Chini, it was painful. How you going to breast with twins? So tell me, Madam Consultant.
Okay, so first, I always encourage moms to get the knowledge before the babies are here. Okay. So you need to know first what you're up against. Like I always see in terms of our system, we teach and prepare people a lot for labor and delivery. We invest time in that, and we give minimal time for breastfeeding. So you find many women, they're able to go through birth and labor, like they can bet like a champion. But when it comes to breastfeeding,
Sister Morayo,
they are no longer a breastfeeding champion. And it really comes from that lack of knowledge, number one. And then number two, getting twins, it's best to feed them at the same time. Because when you get them feeding at the same time, that means when they eat and they're full, you put them down and you take a break. But if you're doing it one after the other, it's harder. And it's just the same thing like how we have different breastfeeding positions. It's not always one facing this way, like formula like a
I do this. Like, I put a pillow behind.
Yes,
so
that's
head
actually
like
the
this.
best one.
It's less
But
weight.
Yes.
But
So it's just the head.
That's the lux. Triplets. What should be
No,
quadruplets.
We don't, we,
So
we don't have enough time. I just want to quickly drop. I want you to help people to understand because the statistics for breastfeeding is really, really poor. And this is the best way children can get nutrients. Can you tell people the advantages of breastfeeding, especially when they feel like I don't have enough money and they end up not doing proper formula benefits?
Okay, so it's important to breastfeed because anything, I always tell mom, the same way that you put in so much effort during pregnancy to make sure that your baby forms will have the best nutrition, is the same thing that you do after your baby is here. Breastfeeding is that foundation that you need to lay because aside from that first 2 years, you don't have that opportunity to do this. You're not going to breastfeed a 5-year-old for the first time, you understand? So I take it that it's the sacrifice that you are doing as a continuation of what you've done during pregnancy. And the importance of this is that the benefits are not just only for that time you're looking at your baby as a newborn, gaining weight, you know, staying out of hospital, not falling sick, but it goes up until they're toddlers. You see them running around healthy, and it goes up until they're adults. You wouldn't believe that because you breastfed your baby girl, her chances of having like cancer as an adult, you've reduced it. Wow. Because you've breastfed your sons, their chances of being obese tomorrow and having diabetes tomorrow, you've reduced it. You've reduced their chances of having hypertension. These are things that are chronic illnesses that almost everyone is like having it at a certain age. So that investment is worth it because it goes a long way.
Okay, Dr. Chinny, thank you so much. We have to wrap up there, but I guess we'll just check you out for those who need help, especially consultancy on this matter. We can always link them up to you to learn how to. I wish now I feel like having a baby.
It's just that
Another one. I think I should have a
some techniques.
So, yeah, I mean, I would love that. But now I want to have a baby so I can learn from you.
No,
maybe
don't mind Morayo. She's been waiting for an excuse. We have now given her one. Let's keep going.
Number 5, they'll chase you for Nigeria. Okay, you okay? It is a kind of triplets you have. That's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.